Well, hello again. Out here for another Saturday day hike. Thinking I might be able to get somewhere around 9 miles in today. Doing the Cooper's Furnace to Pine Mountain trail up near Cartersville. Had a little bit of a delay getting started because the parking near the trailhead that I wanted to start at is closed for the season, which I kind of suspected but wasn't entirely sure what the length of the season that it was closed for would be. Fortunately, I did have a backup where I could get parked near the trail and get to it, so I am on the trail now and hiking and looking for a good day out here. So I'm gonna get some momentum going here and we'll check in down the way. Talk to y'all later. Well, I've made it down to the end of the Cooper's Furnace Trail where I had intended to start my hike, and here's the big feature here, the ironworks from Mark Anthony Cooper. So rather impressive edifice here, and always nice to see something interesting out on the trail. Nice little pond here on the Cooper's Furnace Trail. Did see signs indicating that there's often beaver activity around this pond. Not that I expect to see any today, but nice tranquil spot. So far it's been a pretty quiet day. There's been one other couple that started on the trail about the same time I did. I've passed them twice now, once heading down and then again after I doubled back. So we will see what the rest of the trail has in store for us as we begin the trek up towards Pine Mountain. Well, I've completed the first time I go through the Cooper's Furnace Trail, and I've entered into the Pine Mountain Trail system, doing the East Loop first, or at least half the East Loop. I'll then proceed up to the peak where I begin the West Loop, back up to the peak, and then completing the East Loop before returning to the Cooper's Furnace Trail. So it's one of the things about the Pine Mountain that makes it a little more challenging is it's two loops, but the junction point is at the peak. So if you're going to do both loops, you're going to climb the mountain twice, which is all good. Gets the heart pumping and adds a little bit more conditioning to the legs. So I'm gonna focus here and try not to trip on any more roots, and we'll catch you up further down the trail. Continuing along the East Loop, lots of switchbacks on the ascent up. So getting my steps in for sure, and it just keeps going up and up and up. But, trail is still continuing to be a pleasure to hike on, and as I mentioned, the switchbacks, here we go with another one. So lots of back and forth around here. If I recall correctly, the West Loop doesn't have quite the same configuration of switchbacks, but does tend to wind around a lot. Anyway, just thought I'd share a little bit here. Back to hiking. Giving you a bit of a view from the peak of Pine Mountain here. Doing this via voiceover instead of live recording because the peak was rather crowded while I was there, and I didn't want to be disrupting everyone else trying to enjoy the view with my attempt at videoing and commenting on what we are all there to see. All right, we've come to a little overlook area. Thought I'd give you a peek down I am on the western loop now, and I'll be walking along there in just a minute after I go this way, which is a little bit less of a sudden drop off. So, continuing on, and have successfully made it down. As you can see, the embankment there behind me, that is where I was just standing in the previous clip. And now continuing on down the trail. Should have about half a mile or so down to the parking lot area on the western loop side, and then we'll be heading back up the mountain again. Okay, I just passed the spur that heads back down to the west loop parking area. Did not take that since I'm continuing on, so I have started my ascent again. Well, I have passed the peak for the second time. I'm now on the eastern loop again, doing my final descent of Pine Mountain, and still got a bit of a ways to go. I got to finish this loop and then walk back the Copper Furnace Trail, or Cooper Furnace, not Copper, Cooper, and got mountain bikes coming, so I got to make way. As I was saying, I'm making my final descent, and should be getting back to my car in about an hour and a half or so. Got about 3 more miles to go, and it's been a good day out here hiking. I've seen lots of friendly people. The peak was quite crowded both times, but for a January day, it's been pretty pleasant. It's actually warmed up enough. I took my windbreaker off just to have the long sleeve shirt on now. So, but yeah, we keep on putting the miles behind us and getting ever closer to our goal. So, thanks again. I'll probably check in at least one more time, but as always, I appreciate you all coming with me. All right, I've completed my double loop of Pine Mountain, and I'm back on the Cooper's Furnace Trail, headed south back towards where I parked. So, all in all, it's been a good day out here. One thing that's been a little bit unique and different, I mentioned it just briefly a second ago, was that this is the first time I've had to share a trail with mountain bikers. Wasn't a big inconvenience. You just step out of the way when they're passing, but it was something different, something I hadn't had a chance to experience previously out here on the trails. And that brings up something I wanted to kind of ask you all about. One thing I'm trying to be very cognizant of is avoiding a lot of repetition with these videos. I mean, if I'm going to be doing 1,000 miles, and that's going to consist of a very large number of hikes, I don't want them to just seem the same. I know the footage, if you're not out here hiking, can probably seem like it's more and more the same all the time. So I'm going to ask you all, if you would, let me know what you would like to see in these videos. What kind of things would you like me to be showing or talking about? Just, these are for me, but they're also for you, or I wouldn't be putting them out in a public forum. So if you would, just leave me a comment. It doesn't have to be long, but just let me know what kind of stuff you'd like me to be either talking about or showing on camera. So, and with that, I'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Thanks again for coming out here with me today. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. Till next time. Hey everyone, hello again, and welcome to another hike. This one's going to be kind of a brief segment. I'm not probably going to do a whole lot of video, but I did want to at least acknowledge the hike. Wanted to make sure I got a midweek hike in this week, but work and weather have both been plotting against me. So I was determined to make it happen, and I'm out here for a quick evening hike back at Leita Thompson. Gonna try and get 2 laps in, which will get me about 4.5 miles. So I'm not really focusing on what's around me, but mainly just trying to get this one done as quick as I can. It's been raining all night and the first half of the day today, so the trail's quite a bit sloppy, so I'm having to focus on my footing a bit, especially on the descents. Don't want to fall on my butt, but I'm gonna bust this one out. So this may be the only clip I do on this particular hike, but again, I just wanted to make sure and document it. So thanks again for sticking with me, and we'll hope for something a little bit more interesting on the next one. Well, hello there. It's a nice clear Saturday morning at the end of January, and I am out once again on a new trail for me. I'm up at the Dawson Forest WMA, doing some of the trails in that area. Gonna look to get maybe somewhere around 10 miles in today, and more if the legs are up to it and I see the opportunity, but that's the target. So a little bit different here. Never been hiking in this area. I hear some gunfire in the distance. I know that this is area used for hunting. Hopefully not the specific trail system that I'm on, but it is around in the area. Also heavy use of horse trail in the area, so I'll be on the watch for anything that could be disruptive to my footing in that sense. But it's a nice clear day. I'm looking to put some miles in and enjoy the experience. So I will catch up with you along the way. One of the things I'm gonna try and do on my hike today is hit some of the small offshoots of the trail. I think I might be able to get some of the better sights, as here I'm getting a sight of the river that runs through the area, which if I had stayed on the main path, would not have had this view. Nice quiet little curve in the river here. Very tranquil. Yeah, continuing along here, I'm getting close to the end of the initial approach before I get to the loop that I will progress along. So far, it's been quiet. The trail has been of mixed levels of terrain, pockets of muddy mess that have obviously been traipsed through by several horses today, combined with, more packed in and steady ground, similar to what I've got going right now. But it's been a nice variety of terrains, so nothing monotonous about the trail. I've long since passed the area where I was hearing the gunshots, so feeling a little bit more sure that I won't be targeted. But it's been a nice hike so far, and we'll keep on trekking along here. Well, I've reached one of the corners of the loop and come across a rather nice little water feature here. We've got a little tumbling waterfall, the river coming down here, right up to where the path runs, including some additional little spillways. Nice little primitive log bridge to cross if I wanted. But yeah, this is, I haven't gotten a ton of impressive water features on the trails I've done so far this year, but I think this one qualifies. It's pretty neat. Still finding some more nice little water features, little creek dropping down, which looks like I get to cross. Pick this up on the other side. All right, I successfully crossed, and this was the view I was trying to show you. The little creek goes up and goes down over a number of little water breaks coming down. So, always nice to see little picturesque things along the way. Well, I took another one of the little side spurs off the main trail to get another view of the river running through the Dawson Forest area here. Kind of calm around this bend, so nice tranquil view again. You see a little bit there, but did manage just do another little bit of a water ford, crossing through a stream that feeds into the river here. Was set up with a system of rocks to be able to ford it, and I was successful in making it across without falling in, getting my feet wet, or any other such tragedy. So mark another accomplishment down, but continuing on back to the trail, and I'm about halfway, maybe just under halfway through the loop here, gone just over 5 miles so far. Still feeling good and continuing on. Well, one of the hikes I did last year was the East Palisades Trail over on the Chattahoochee, which has the interesting feature of the bamboo forest. Here in the middle of the Dawson Forest, I seem to have come across a miniature version of it. There's a small stand of bamboo that has appeared here right along the trail, including this very interesting dark one, almost a black bamboo. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it was interesting to stumble across. So very unexpected. Continuing on. All right, well, I have completed the loop, so I'm now on the portion of the trail that I'm backtracking on. It's I think a couple mile stretch back to the parking area. So I'll be repeating terrain I've already been over. So probably won't do a whole lot more videoing. I'll give another closeout as I get close to the end. But I'm about 8.3 miles in so far, so good solid distance today. It's been a relatively quiet hike. I've passed a total of 4 people out here in the entire stretch I've been on. So I would say it's not one of the more heavily trafficked trails, at least not at this time of the year, but because I mean, it's a great day out here for hiking. Temperatures in the probably low to mid 50s at this point, clear skies. You know, for January, you can't ask for much better. But anyway, I've got some muddy trail ahead of me, so I'm going to focus on that, and I'll finish this out later. Okay, well, I'm on the final little stretch of the trail here. Got probably less than half a mile before I get back to the parking area. Looks like I'm going to get a bit over 11 miles in on this one. I'm sitting at about just over 11 miles right now, and like I said, probably less than half a mile to go. So it's been a good distance to add to my total, and it's been generally a pleasant hike. You know, I wouldn't say that there's, there was the nice water features I saw along the way, but the trail itself is not necessarily got a ton of views. Decent elevation changes, but nothing drastic. But overall, a pleasant hike, one worth doing, and I've enjoyed myself today. So I'm going to close it out here. Thanks again for coming along with me.